Emily Carter's day had been quiet, the kind of shift EMTs crave. No emergencies, no heartbreak, just routine. Her 12-hour rotation ended at sunset, and she stopped at a strip mall to grab groceries. Her scrub was stained, her ponytail loose, but she was too tired to care, craving only dinner and sleep. Stepping out of the market, a paper bag in one hand, phone in the other, she spotted a man staggering near the taco shop. At first, she pegged him for a drunk tourist, but then she saw blood. The young man, mid-20s, wore a torn Marine uniform, his leg dragging, his side soaked red. His pale face and trembling hands clutching his ribs screamed trouble. Most people nearby didn't notice, lost in their tacos or screens. Emily dropped her bag and rushed over. "Hey, sit down." "You're bleeding," she said, steady. "I'm an EMT." She eased him to the curb as he nodded weakly, gasping. His shoulder was bruised, ribs battered. She ripped open a gauze pack from her belt, pressed it to his side, and checked for more wounds. Her hands moved fast, instinct kicking in, trained, focused. Then she saw them. Two men approached quickly. One tall, wore a black hoodie, face hidden. The other shaved head with neck tattoos glared. They weren't passing by. They were locked on the Marine. "Back off," the tattooed one growled. Emily stood partway in front of the wounded man, cautious. "He needs help." "I've called an ambulance." "No one asked you," the tattooed man snapped. "Walk away." Her stomach twisted. Something was off. The Marine whispered, "They followed me." It clicked. These men had targeted him. Her heart raced. "You're not touching him," she said, feet planted. The hoodie guy pulled a blade, its glint catching the streetlight. Then chaos broke. He lunged for the Marine's chest. Emily threw herself sideways, taking the hit in her arm. Pain seared, but she stayed up. A second slash tore her lower back. She grabbed the attacker's wrist, forcing the blade down. The tattooed man kicked her ribs. She stumbled but held her ground between them and the Marine, who tried to rise but collapsed. Another stab hit her shoulder. Blood soaked her scrub, vision blurring. She didn't know how many hits she'd taken. "Help!" she screamed. "Call 911!" Bystanders froze, some recording, others stunned. One voice yelled, "Leave her alone!" The attackers, startled, fled. Emily dropped to her knees, pressing the Marine's side. "I've got you," she whispered. "Stay with me." Sirens wailed faintly. An off-duty EMT ran to her, taking over. "You're losing blood," he said, lowering her. "Hang on." Stars blurred, then darkness. Fading in and out, Emily felt warm blood pooling. Her hands shook, but her mind clung to one thought. Don't die. Not now, not for her, but for the Marine. Flashes broke through. Red lights, shouting, antiseptic sting. In the ambulance, a paramedic called her name. Oxygen mask tight. She tried to ask about the Marine, but only groaned before blacking out. At the scene, police cordoned off the area, taking statements. The taco shop's grainy footage showed enough. A student, Luis, who'd shouted at the attackers, told officers. She jumped in front of the knife. No hesitation. In another ambulance, Corporal James Rivas, the Marine, clutched Emily's bloodied jacket. His cracked ribs and internal bleeding stabilized thanks to her. "She saved him," a paramedic whispered. In the ER, Emily was rushed to surgery. 7 stab wounds. 2 in her back, 1 in her shoulder, 3 along her side, 1 in her arm. A collapsed lung, fractured ribs, but no major arteries hit. A miracle. Surgeons worked hours, transfusing 4 pints of blood. She reached recovery unconscious. Next door, James stabilized, asking, "The EMT? Is she okay?" No answers yet. Police identified the attackers. Gang members targeting service members who crossed their drug and weapons trafficking. James had reported an illegal deal weeks earlier, making him a target. They hadn't counted on Emily. Her mother, Karen, got the call. "Your daughter's injured, alive, in surgery." Karen dropped the phone. Her husband grabbed it, demanding details. They paced the ICU. The doctor emerged. "She's stable. Lost blood but no permanent damage. Brave." Karen cried, asking, "When can we see her?" Emily stirred, disoriented by tubes and bandages. A nurse reassured her, "You're safe." Her first question, "The Marine?" "Alive because of you," the nurse said. Relief hit hard. She'd thought he'd die. "Everyone's talking about it," the nurse added. That night, Captain Ramirez, a Marine officer, appeared. "Emily Carter?" She nodded. He placed a bronze challenge coin on her tray, engraved with the Marine Corps emblem. "From Corporal Rivas, you stood between a warrior and death. You're one of us." Emily stared, overwhelmed. I just helped, she whispered. He smiled. More than that. She awoke to beeping, pain radiating. The nurse checked vitals. ICU, you made it. Emily whispered. The Marine? Stable, you saved him. Relief eased her chest. The nurse explained. 7 wounds, a collapsed lung, 18 hours unconscious. A miracle, she said. Emily shook her head. I just reacted. Her family arrived, mom sobbing, dad kissing her forehead, sister with cards from colleagues and strangers. One read, You saved one of ours. Later, Ramirez returned with James, leaning on a cane, face bruised but eyes bright. Miss Carter, he said, I owe you my life. He gave her his unit patch. Now it's yours, Ramirez added. Rare for a civilian. You're a guardian. A video of the attack went viral. 30 seconds of Emily shielding James, taking hits. Millions viewed it. Hashtags like Charg Shield of Honor trended. News called her a hero. Veterans praised her. Emily, unaware, wanted none of it. She shut off her phone, declined interviews, focused on James. Why were they after you? She asked. He hesitated. I stopped something I wasn't supposed to see. She nodded. Until you weren't alone. Police arrested one attacker. The other was at large. The city buzzed with pride for the woman who stood firm. Emily broke down one night overwhelmed. I just wanted to help, she told her mom. And you did, Karen replied. Days after discharge, Emily returned to San Diego. At 6:02 a.m., a knock came. Her mom gasped, opening the door to 100 Marines in dress uniforms on her lawn. James, on a crutch, stood at the center. Emily stepped onto her porch, stunned. The Marines saluted in unison. James spoke. You stood between death and one of ours. We stand for you. 2 Marines presented a flag and a custom challenge coin. To the shield. Emily wept, whispering, I don't deserve this. James said, You earned more. A neighbor's video of the salute went viral. Headlines hailed her. Emily ignored the fame, focusing on recovery. Physical therapy was brutal. Her hand, damaged from grabbing the blade, struggled. James visited weekly, their bond growing. He brought Lego sets for Marine-approved rehab. They built a battleship, her trembling hands managing one piece at a time. She cried, not for the Lego, but progress. Emily returned to light EMT duties, training recruits. Invitations came to speak at military events. At a fundraiser, she said, I didn't think about what I'd lose, only what I'd save. The room stood, applauding. James, in dress blues, walked her to her car. Do you think how it could have been different? He asked. All the time, she said. He took her hand, a shift between them. The Marine Corps nominated her for the Distinguished Public Service Award. In D.C., she stood stunned as the commandant pinned the medal. James smiled from the front row. Back home, she placed it beside a Lego battleship. James grew serious one night. I want to be there for you. Her heart raced. I was hoping you'd say that, she replied. 6 months later, Emily eased into emergency calls, scars fading but present. Flashbacks hit during high-stress moments, but she breathed through them. James, now trouble to her M, was constant. They learned the attack was a hit. James had disrupted a smuggling ring. If I hadn't stepped in, you wouldn't be here, she said on a beach. He nodded. I'm safe now, thanks to you. The White House invited her. The president honored her as a civilian who served without a uniform. She stood beside generals, clutching her medal, James nodding from the back. At home, life settled. James cooked terrible coffee. She teased him. Her story inspired others. A woman saved a driver, citing Emily. Letters flooded in, one from a girl who wanted to be an EMT. Emily spoke at Arlington for Armed Forces Day, before thousands. With Marines from her salute in the crowd, she said, Courage doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes it's bleeding on a sidewalk, refusing to step aside. The crowd stood, some saluting. A cadet whispered, She's why I joined. Walking through Arlington with James, they stopped at a Marine's grave. He placed a coin, whispering, We're not done paying it forward. He turned to Emily. They want me to train recruits. Only if you come as a mentor, she laughed. I'm in. Her story became a training case. She spoke at bases, hugged kids, held widows' hands. On the attack's anniversary, she left a flower at the taco shop curb. A girl asked, Are you the hero lady? Emily knelt. I'm just someone who helped. The girl smiled. I want to help too.